Welcome into Snow The Goalie. We are live at Chickie's and Pete's in Drexel Hill. Welcome on in. There is nothing breaking in the world of the Philadelphia Flyers. Oh yeah, there is. There's terrible news to start the show, but we will try to pull the nose up on it all and try to give you at least a little bit of positivity to walk away from tonight. The most positive thing so far tonight has been food. Fantastic. If you are on your way into Chickie's and Pete's in Drexel Hill, come on in. If you weren't planning on being here, get your keister down here. Gentlemen, how we doing? Anthony SanFilippo is here as usual. Bundy is here. And then down on the end, who's that dapper fella? None other than Riley Cote. Welcome in, Riley and gents. How are we feeling tonight?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
Doing good, Russ.
Oh, it's wonderful to be here, Russ. This is my backyard. You know that.
Twice we've had it in your backyard. We haven't had my backyard.
You're coming back to Jersey next week. You're back to Jersey next week.
You're out in the house, in your backyard.
I need a monorail. Can we get a monorail?
No, right? So anyway, yeah. Russ alluded to news today. Obviously, this is disappointing news for the Flyers today. Learning that Tyson Foerster, who was already going to be out 2 to 3 months, had a second opinion, really, is from what I understand, and decided to have surgery on his arm, and will miss the remainder of the regular season for sure. Flyers announced 5 months as the time that they are going to that he's going to be out. That's a big blow, guys. That's a big blow. It was already a big blow as it was to be missing him for 2 to 3 months, but now to say, even after the Olympic break, you aren't going to have him, and he is probably their most important forward as a 2-1-foot player and a two-way player. I think that's a tough loss for them.
I may just go further, just call him the Flyers' best forward.
Yeah.
And he may just be that guy, the way he's responsible defensively, the way he's able to block goals and everything. Like he had 10 goals in 21 games. He's really going to be missed, and you notice him already. The Flyers have done a pretty good job without him. That's a terrible loss long term for this team.
Yeah, I agree. I love his game. I love watching him.
In fact, I work over at a hockey academy, and I always show clips of that line. Just the way they pressure the puck and forecheck and just get after it. I mean, it's a huge loss, and it's tough blow.
Yeah, no, so the thing of it is now you got to figure out. I mean, they were already trying to piecemeal the lineup, how you're going to fill in for him. Different guys have kind of filled in on that spot on that line. Last night they had Mishkov on that line for the first time. But I guess the real question becomes, what's the long-term answer? And is the long-term answer somebody that's there, somebody that's in the organization, or do you now have to go outside the organization to find a guy to kind of take over the role that Tyson Foerster was playing?
I wonder if that guy is Grundstrom already.
Well, he's played great.
Here. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Is he the guy, though? Because he's been up for 5 games. He's got 3 goals. He's played really, really well. He doesn't look like he's out of place at all.
Agreed.
Yeah. He's been all over the place. So maybe that's the guy that they can look to and say, hey, we get Foerster out. Right now, you're not going to get better production than what he's given you already, Grundstrom, in terms of what he's provided for this team since the injury to Tyson Foerster. So I think that may be the guy.
Agreed, and I don't think it's that easy. Just go find a guy any bit near, Foerster. In my opinion, no one's giving those guys away. But I think the Bundy's point there, I think he's a good fit.
What do you guys see in the way Grundstrom plays that makes it? Obviously when Bundy, you talked to Danny at one of the home games a few weeks ago, and asked him about him, and Danny said, "Oh, he's an NHL player." Yeah, right. Well, we've seen that now, right, in 5 games. But what is it about his game that stands out to sit there and go, "Oh, this guy is a good fit for this team"?
He does a lot of things really well in both zones, but offensively, he hangs onto the puck. He's willing to take a hit to make a play on the boards, and he goes to the front of the net. The goal he scored last night on that nice pass from Tippett was just him going over, being available to the side of the net as an option. He's a really smart hockey player, and he's filled in beautifully, really, since the Foerster injury. And I love a lot about his game. I mean, he brings a ton of energy too to the table.
Riley, that hockey sense, right? Where does that come from? Is that something that you just are born with, or is that something that you can kind of get better at as you play? Can you get more hockey sense the more you play in the NHL? Is that something that's there?
You definitely can. I mean, I
Yeah.
would say it's a skill.
Yeah.
But I would say that, the best players in the world were definitely touched by the hand of God, giving them that ability amongst others to be able to piece it together. But it's certainly, this is a lot of the conversations around these kids that I work with is exactly that. It's just like the hockey IQ. It's a lot of times, mostly playing without the puck, where to be. But then, again, like to Bundy's point, like hang on to the puck, having the confidence to hang on to the puck, because a lot of these kids just want to get rid of the puck. But you can certainly improve it. But like,
Yeah.
it didn't matter how much I practiced it. You know what I mean? The hockey IQ was, wasn't moving up a whole lot. You know what I mean? But like, I was also consumed by other elements of the game. But
Yeah.
it's a skill for sure. It can be improved, but it's a tough one.
Well, the reason I asked you that question is because you were a coach, and so you obviously had an opportunity to work with some players that, on the minor league level, but still, it's the second best league in the world. Were there guys that you looked at and said, if he could just do that a little bit better, that would be the difference between them being
so
there
many guys like
and in
that.
the NHL, right?
Oh yeah, I mean that is really the conversation always.
Yeah.
It's just like they got the the physical meat suit going, right? They're big, strong, fast, shoot the puck in stride. But it's always between the ears. It's like, the ability or inability to self-regulate after a mistake, or just play the game with composure. I think that's a hard one to teach. It's kind of like, even if you had a coach just be like, go out there and don't worry about making mistakes. I'm not going to bench you. These guys are in their own heads a lot of the time and can't get out of their own way. To me, that's the difference between the elite players that have composure and the guys are just, up and downers and, can't really figure it out. It's just, they're just their own worst enemy.
You want to give out the phone number for people? People are asking. There's in the comments. People are asking.
I mean, I guess I lost that. Yeah, I'll pull it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you got the number there, Russ? I'll say it since your thing's not working. This might be the best Snow the Goalie ever. Russ is here and can't talk.
Yeah, great.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
He's back.
The 90-minute drive is worth it to sit here silently. Lovely.
Yeah, 215-949-3232 is the number to call in if you want to talk hockey with us. So, Russ, we haven't gotten your take on this.
On what?
On the Tyson Foerster thing and how they could potentially replace. I know you have a different theory than the rest of us do here.
What's my theory?
That you,
I had a theory.
You think that this is like going to kill them.
Oh, they've been flying very, very close to the sun for a while so far. I mean, this season, you try to look at this thing and go into a season with a fair and balanced take on things. And I think when you bring in a new coach, you're waiting to see if a guy's going to react well. You're waiting to see if a guy like Cam York, who clearly had a falling out with Tortorella, was going to bounce back. He has. You're waiting to see if a guy like a Foerster was going to take the next step. He was on a near 40-goal pace. I would say that, it was probably heading in the right direction with him. You look at a guy like Tippett, can Tocchet figure out a way to try to get through? Tippett's Tippett. Like, I don't think he's going to change. He's just a very streaky player. I don't think anybody can really unlock consistency from him. You wait to see what happens with Michkov. Can Michkov kind of fit this north-south game that Tocchet wants him to play when he's more of an east-west guy? Hasn't really worked out yet. Vladar's played like a legitimate top 10 goalie in the league. Mm-hmm. You are one stretch of play from Dan Vladar away from this not being nearly as successful as it's been. Trevor Zegras, no one thought would be a point-per-game player. He has been. So they've kind of been playing this game all season where things have just kind of it's worked like a well-oiled machine, but at some point you need to see how your team can react when they are throwing a curveball. Foerster is a curveball that they really can't afford to have. Now, they've been able to kind of stem the tide so far. They've been able to patchwork this thing. But now knowing that he's out for the remainder of the season, I mean, you have a few things that have to go right for you to kind of stay above water. So I look to, can you get through the end of the calendar year and wait for one of those guys down in Lehigh Valley to really kind of go on a roll where all of a sudden Danny Briere and company are kind of forced, if you're Alex Bump right now, this is the time to make yourself undeniable. You have about a month here to really make the case that you can come in and fill that spot. Can he? Will he? I don't know. If you're Danny Briere, does this now expedite the desire to go out on the trade market and try to find somebody who not only is a short-term fix and a fill for Foerster, but does this maybe change the calculus on if you were going to try to go after somebody in free agency, a UFA coming up, or an RFA, or a guy that you might have targeted in a trade in the offseason? Do you now try to go after it now because it fills that Foerster hole and it's somebody that you wanted to have longer term? I think it changes the calculus on the season a lot, because if one thing goes wrong, the bottom can fall out really fast. And that's the concern. I think Foerster's kind of like the last lever that can kind of break before the bottom falls out. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
And that's looking at it through a positive lens.
Yeah, and that
you
is-
could skew very negatively very quickly.
No,
that to me is like
that is a relatively positive response
Look at
considering
that.
it's you.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 3-1-3 since Tyson Foerster's gone out. It's not blow you out of the water great, but it's, you know what? It's competitive. It's really competitive, and it's got them into third place in the division with 2 games in hand on second place Islanders. They have a relatively easy schedule here the next 4 games. This is a real opportunity for them to build up some more equity with this lineup and with this roster and in the standings. And so I think that you're wrong to say go out and get that player. No, I think that they will try to go out and get that player. I'm just not sure, guys, that it's now. What I think it is I think that Danny Briere is going to look at it and say, we obviously need to try and find some addition to the offense, whether it's a center, whether it's a forward, or maybe it's both. But I don't necessarily think it has to be done in right before the trade freeze in December or even right after it in early January. I think it's something that gets a little bit closer to the trade deadline before they do that.
Well, that's why I'm saying I think that if you're a bump, I don't think Barkey would get a look. But if he were going to try to make a case, you have about a month, I think, between the freeze and then coming out of it. And then obviously, the league shutting down for a few weeks in February for the Olympic break. There's still some time to try to find an internal fill until maybe, even if you're going to play the trade game, the price on players, depending on the player and depending on the team, might go down a little bit at the start of the calendar year than they would be right now. Depends on the term on the player's contract.
Like you guys look at this team and you think that, they can make their way through the start of the Olympics, right? With what they currently had. They're not in a desperate situation that they have to fill something right now, right?
I don't think so. I think they're fine the way they are. I mean, they compete hard every night. They're in every single game.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an urgency for them the way that they're going for Danny Briere to do anything right now. I think he could bide his time and see how things go, at least the way the lineup change made last night. We'll see what they do through the Christmas break. Anthony's right. They got some very winnable games coming up.
It's 24 games, by the way, between now and the Olympic break. So it's practically a quarter of your season. It doesn't feel like it, but it really is.
What do you think there, Riles? You look at it and you say the way that they're playing makes it so that they could sustain
I think
until
so.
that point?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, I think there's going to be a little bit of trial and error and see who does the job. And then if no one can do the job, but I think they're going to be patient with it. And the team's, again, is showing up and still keeping that energy up and finding ways to stay in games, and, get points when they need to and whatever else. But I think he's going to sit on that one, just observe for a little bit.
It's every week we do that. We have to do a sponsored segment, and I'm going to include you this week, Riley, before we let you roll. Thank you for coming in. And make sure. By the way, we always promote whatever our guests are doing. You obviously have one of the more fun podcasts out there with Nasty Knuckles. You were just on this, weren't you, Bundy?
Nasty Knuckles?
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah, it's been
last
a minute.
year? I thought I saw
It was
something.
like 3 or 4.0, but I think it was last year.
I've been on a couple times.
Yeah.
I thought I saw something that they put out recently with you. Maybe it was.
I think it was an
a
old
clip
clip.
recently,
It was
yeah.
an old clip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it was an old clip. I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's why I thought you went back on.
This is the beauty of social media, though. This is like further proof that clipping your content and everything,
I know, right?
it gets
forever.
the cycle going around. It's a good thing.
Right.
You just had Mike Richards on, though, right?
We did, yeah.
Yeah. And how did that go? He had some good stuff to say about where they're at.
Yeah, I know. I love Richie and just getting his insight. He's so honest but clear, and and kind of to the point. But he likes what he's seeing, and he was essentially talking up all parts of the game for the Flyers, and I mean he was extremely positive with what he's seeing from a few of these guys and the direction it's going. And Richie's honest too. Like if there was something, obviously there's always room for improvement. But he was positive. He doesn't watch every game, but he's keeping a pulse on it and likes the vibe.
I like that he's back paying attention to hockey again.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right? I mean, it's over the course like the last year or so. He's been back following the game again.
Yeah,
it's good because he's always had some good insight. But anyway, so the sponsor segment that we do is we do a Flyers Player of the Week. It's Payroll Service Solutions Player of the Week, and it's time for us to do that. It's brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY. That's 1-866-PAY-EASY. So, Riley, the way this works is we each pick a guy, and it could be the same guy, and we just see who, if we come to a consensus, for the Flyers Player of the Week since last Wednesday when we last were together. So that incorporates games Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Tuesday. So the last 4 games. I'm going to go off the board a little bit.
Wow.
And I think that there's a slam dunk winner this week, but it's not the one I'm going to pick. I think I'm going to let one of you guys pick it.
Wow.
But the one I'm going to do off the board is, we've already talked about him, Carl Grundstrom.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that the guys come in here after being in the minors and then being a healthy scratch for a couple of games, and then started out as a 4th liner, scored a goal on the 4th line, or a couple of goals on the 4th line, and gets moved up the lineup and contributes yet again. I think that has to make him, in my mind, the player of the week this week.
Bundy, who do you have?
I have Carl Grundstrom.
Really?
I had him today, already thinking about it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Now, maybe I didn't go that far off the board.
I don't think that was off the board at all.
No, I don't think so.
I thought you were going to go I know. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, who did you think I was going to pick?
Well, because he's also been great, and I debated this a little bit, but I thought Vladar.
No, you know what?
Because Vladar was great against Carolina. He was great again last night.
You know, there was a part of me that almost went with Ty Murchison just because he on the whole played so much better than I think guys expected him to.
Yeah.
But I probably would stick with Grundstrom.
Oh,
I think I'd go across the board.
Okay.
I mean, I think he's really impressed. That's a guy that that the front office was pretty high on. They believed was an NHL player. Sometimes you hear that when it gets put out there. You hear, they think this guy is an NHL player, and you go, yeah, okay, fine, sure, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. He actually has played like one.
Yeah.
And as much as I've been high on, hey, get Nikita Grabenkin an opportunity. Let's see what he looks like on the 3rd line. The point production wasn't there, right? And then he finds himself out of the lineup last night. Grundstrom, meanwhile, comes in, makes himself felt in games. So I think Grundstrom's a good call. Yeah. Riley, would you agree, or is there somebody else that stands out to you?
I mean, that's where my head was at. Just you get that opportunity.
It's all about it,
you
right?
know, and that is it, right? I mean, you take advantage and you do exactly what you need to do. To me, that's like the essence of that, of that role and of that opportunity. So, I mean, you got to give him absolute credit for it.
Well, there we go. I was
unanimous. By the way, that might be the first four.
That's the first four
person
unanimous
of the season
that we've had. So
that's not just a player of the game. That's a super player of the game.
Yeah, right.
That's a super player. So that was your
power player of the game.
That was your Payroll Service Solutions Flyers Player of the Week. Once again, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for the smart choice in payroll services. Payroll Service Solutions, catering to the small and medium-sized business to handle all of your payroll needs. Call them once again at 1-866-PAY-EASY. Russell.
Yeah.
I think we have a caller, right?
We do have a caller. There's somebody who's been chomping at the bit to get after you. I don't know.
Just so you guys know.
Do we want to? Does Riley need to be here for this? Because I don't know if Riley has to deal with your shenanigans.
I feel bad because Riley's got his whole dinner sitting there.
Oh, it's okay. Don't feel bad.
Yeah, you got the whole
staring you right in the eye here. But
I have a chicken sandwich that people
can't
see at home. It's right there.
So
nice and shiny.
Just so you know, Riles, we have this guy who's a regular commenter on the show who has been wanting to challenge me on my takes on the Flyers for like weeks. And he's finally decided last week that he's going to call into the show this week.
I'm pretty sure he's called in before.
He may have. But
Bundy, do you want to go lay out for this? Should we go sit somewhere else and just let Ant do this for a half hour?
This is typical radio.
Call it an early
night.
Call
in radio, and we'll give him his opportunity to speak, and that'll be fine. So let's bring him on.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Bring on our buddy.
All right, so I hear Tony Louie is out there getting in. I don't know if we can hear him yet. I don't know if he's been patched through yet or not. But Tony, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
There's Tony.
Hear you fine, Tone.
All right.
Get him, Tony. Get him.
Good evening, guys. Good evening, Mr. SanFilippo.
Good evening, Tony.
Before we begin, I just wanted to reiterate the fact that I'm a big fan of all three of you guys. I've been watching the show for a very long time. I think your show is the best out there. And I watch the show because you guys really know your stuff.
Is Riley chopped liver, Tony? We have Riley Cote on the show.
Tony might also just be listening. right?
Right?
Well,
Tony might have just
yeah,
called the
I can't
radio
agree.
station and isn't watching.
Yeah, but
doesn't-
Tony Louie has to know Nasty Knuckles exists. It's a great
Of
podcast.
course I do.
Right. And so to sit there and say we're the best
Oh,
around
God,
while
I'm
he's
done.
on the show,
It's
Here
all
he
right.
goes.
It's
You
all right.
know?
I respect that.
Maria,
I
come
respect
get
that.
your guy. Come get your guy. Take it. All right, go ahead, Tony.
Get him.
Yeah, so that being said, I don't watch your show just to like hate watch your show, like someone going to the theater to watch the new Snow White just so they can run home and write a crappy review on it.
Yeah.
It's not like that. I love your show.
Thanks, bud.
But Anthony,
Yeah.
your shilling has just gone a little bit too far, and your fans and followers are concerned about it.
Okay.
And the fact that I'm about to annihilate you on your absurd stance about how Mishkov looks better at the left wing doesn't mean that I don't love you. This just needed to happen.
Go ahead.
So whose opening statement would like to go first?
No, go right ahead. Go right ahead, pal.
Oh, okay. I get to go first. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this whole notion that Mishkov is playing bad because he can't skate or that he came into camp out of shape and we're 3 months ago and he's still not in the shape, it's just a pathetic excuse. The truth is Rick Tocchet isn't putting Mishkov in position to play to his strengths. It's really that simple. Mishkov is an east-west player. He likes to gain his zone on the right side, pull the puck to his side, survey the entire offensive zone. Sometimes he'll cut to the middle and take a shot. Sometimes he tries to beat a guy one-on-one. And sometimes he'll make a pass. But he's doing all that with the puck pulled back as he's surveying the entire offensive zone. Tocchet putting him at left wing takes away his ability to do those things. Putting him at left wing takes away almost his entire game, and it forces him to be more of a straight line player, which he is not.
You think we're talking about Gretzky?
I
Like,
know.
Honest to God.
I know,
You
right?
think that he's just described Wayne Gretzky to us?
So, Tony, first of all, I give you credit because you wrote that all down. I could tell
And-
that you spent like
and had
6 days
and had the smug look on his face. This never
ty-
ends well.
typing that up, right? It was very good. It's very well thought out, right? I give you a lot of credit for putting a lot of thought and energy and determination into your writing, no matter how wrong it is.
Here we go.
Okay, the reality of the situation is, and this was going to be something that I'm going to get into a little bit later in Ant versus Flyers Twitter, but the reality of the situation is that the Flyers have to protect Mishkov this season. Okay, they didn't have to protect him last season because he was in the shape he needed to be in last season. All right, they need to find a way for him to play at the best potential level he can be at in the 25-26 season to help the Flyers win. When he was playing on the right wing, he was behind the play a lot. He was back. He was forced to skate backwards a lot there. He was turning the puck over with alacrity. Like, it was very fast. Every time he had the puck, he was turning it over. And he takes a lot of penalties. He still takes some penalties on the left wing side, but he's taking less than he was at the beginning of the year when he's finding himself chasing the play. And so the Flyers looked at it and said, what can we do to make this a little bit better for him? What can we do so until he's where he needs to be, that he can be at least somewhat productive? And the move was to put him on the left side. He's been more productive on the left side, just with counting stats, than he was on the right side. It's plain and simple. It doesn't mean he's been better, completely better. It doesn't mean he's back to where he needs to be. He's far from that. But if you're comparing the way he was playing at the beginning of the season when he was on the right wing versus what he's been on the left wing since they put him there, he's been better than he was at the beginning of the season. Still nowhere close to where he needs to be. I'll defer to the two guys who've played this game before, so it's not just me that you think I'm shilling for the organization, okay? But I'm criticizing the player that they've kind of built their whole system around, right? Like, they're going to make this guy the next star of the team. I'm criticizing that player, so I don't know how that makes me a shill, but I'll turn it over to these guys and let them comment on what the Flyers are doing with Mishkov and how they're trying to make him work. Gentlemen, either one of you?
That was not a great transition there, Anthony.
That was a terrible handoff, by the way.
That wasn't good.
There's
Here,
only certain things. I didn't prepare my statement.
Watch, here
I went
we
off the
go.
top of
All
my
right,
head.
here, watch. Here's how we'll do it, and I'll set you guys up better.
Go ahead, Russ.
Your Honor, I would like to make a formal motion to dismiss Anthony SanFilippo's takes on Matvei Michkov. I will simply go back to a year ago. Matvei Michkov in the 24-25 season had 8 penalty minutes in the month of October. He matched that with 8 again this year. He had 8 penalty minutes in the month of November last year. He has 14 this year. He was actually penalized more minutes this season than last season, and I will continue that despite the fact that they have not played 13 games like they did last year. He had 20 penalty minutes in December last year. He's only at 10 so far this year, but he may go over that. So this notion that he was more penalized, Your Honor, is not true.
No, this year, Russ. I didn't say last year. I said this year. He was
penalized more.
He was taking more penalties on the right wing.
He spent more time in the box so far this season than he did last year through the first 2.5 months.
Yes, you're making my argument for me.
So why would you want to play him in a position where he's getting penalized more?
You're
to start
not.
the season? He has more.
He's been on the left wing not the whole season,
Okay.
Russ. It's only been the last handful of games.
Okay.
What is everyone's expectation of Michkov?
I think that the expectation
That's the part where everybody starts talking about him. Because to me right now, he's another player on the team.
well, that's bad. Then that's an indictment on the organization for taking him where they did.
Well, no, it's not, Russ.
Sure
because
it is.
it's absolutely not. Because he's not there yet. If they think that he's a project for down the road, but right now I don't see a superstar.
I
Right now.
agree with that. I don't see that either.
I see another player on the ice that's just trying to make his way, and sometimes it's tough for him on a nightly basis.
Yeah.
And,
But
he's put himself in this spot because he was not ready at the beginning of the year. Right? I mean, everybody saw what he did last year when he led the league in goal scoring amongst rookies, right? And he had a very productive rookie season. But now he's taking a huge step backwards.
Yeah.
Why? It's not the coaching. It's not the fact that he's getting all this less ice time. I'll tell you that he's getting less ice time because he's taking shorter shifts.
Yeah.
Okay. I mapped this out in a story this week that the guy who leads the team in shifts in the game amongst forwards is Travis Konecny, who takes 24 a game. Matvei Michkov takes 20 a game. You know what Travis Konecny does that Matvei Michkov doesn't? Kills penalties.
Right.
Flyers are shorthanded 3.2 times per game. So there's your extra shifts, right, between the top guy and where Michkov is. So it has nothing to do with the fact that they're not putting him out there. The only time that they're choosing not to put him out there is overtime.
Right.
That's really the only time they're choosing not to put him. And why are you not putting him out there in overtime? We talked about this, right, Bundy? Because his skating is not where it needs to be to play 3-on-3.
He's got no pop. He's got no pop in his step. I mean, he got no pull away speed. You know, that's what I see. He's flat. I mean, I say flat footed, but top of the circle's in. He's really good, but he doesn't have that quickness.
He's not a Pavel Bure on the rush type of guy that's going to just wow you out of his seat. He's not a fast skater, guys. I don't know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
Do we think that he's ever going to be that?
You can improve a little bit, but not.
But he's never going to be that.
He's never going to be that.
So then this comes back to the age-old question, regardless of sport, regardless of level. Does there come a point where you have to evaluate as a coach? You can come in with a system that you want the entire team to play. You can have a certain set of standards that you hold everybody to, and you can try to be very rigid with that system and try to jam those players into it and make it work. But those guys individually might not hit their peak level. Or do you go in and say, look, this is what I want to run, but I do have a player who this organization believes highly in and does think is one of their higher upside guys. Maybe I have to have a little bit more flexibility. Maybe I need to adapt something to try to maximize what he does. Right now, to me, it's looked like they've tried to turn Michkov into a player who fits within what Tocchet wants. And I'm not saying that you just give a free pass to the guy, but I do wonder, do they have to change something to try to unlock what Michkov was a season ago? Like, the skating, I don't think has been significantly worse this year than it was last year.
He looks slower.
He looks slower,
He got no pop.
but he's not.
I
wasn't
I
fast
think
to
the answer
start.
to that question, Russ, will come after the Olympics, because he's already told people he's committed to staying here and skating and working out during that 17-day layoff in February. I don't know if that's enough time, but we'll see. I think that when we get to the end of February, beginning of March, and we're watching him play in those games, and we'll have a better idea of where he's at. Can he catch up to where? Because the thing of it is, yes, he's been working it out, right? And he's been trying. But when you start here and everybody else starts here, and you're trying to catch up, well, guess what? They're not staying still. They're moving forward too, right? Conditioning-wise, players throughout the course of the year. So the only opportunity for him to get any closer is during a time when nobody's playing.
Yep.
So that's really it. So, if we're going to look at Michkov and say, can he be a better version of himself this season? Then it has to be after that Olympic break, and they got to protect him up until that point. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, getting the reps in for sure. You know, I'm not sure it matters that much, left wing, right wing. I certainly don't think that whatever side you're on is going to take more. You're going to take more penalties than the other. You know, I think there's advantages to both. You know, being on, coming across as a left-handed shot, and then you're eventually on your off wing. Some guys like to be opened up. You know, I think his warts are, you know, say it like that, but like.
Everybody's got warts.
Everyone's got warts for
right?
sure, but like
Yeah.
I think when you build the system on trust, you know, I was showing some clips of the kids the other day. It's like, you know, D zone, he's higher than the strong side winger, and leaving the center wide open. There's little things that like a coach you just can't ignore.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? It's, unless your point production's so high, you can just turn a blind eye to some of those warts. But like he's just. I'm not sure why he would be where he's at right now. I think he's had more than enough opportunity. Yeah. This idea of like talk, it's like north and south. Yeah, of course he's meat and potatoes, but like he's also gives players the freedom to make the right play. I mean, Zegras is obviously an east or west player. He's probably found a groove here and it's probably subscribed to something he never did before. But I also think with working with young players when I was at the Phantoms, was a lot of times these guys like. It's trial and error to understand what you can and can't do. Yeah. And eventually you model your game around, I really can't do this. So I need to really focus on this, you know? And to me, it's like, he's not a guy that carry the puck up through the middle of the ice all the time, like top of the circles in, like do your thing, you know, get creative. But I think you just got to, just play with more jam. Maybe he's got a little grease to him, but I don't know. I just don't see that superstar energy yet. Yeah. But I mean, you know, it could be there. It just takes some time for some guys to figure out what they can do.
Yeah. And that's really what it is. And Tony, just so you know, I didn't hang up on you. Okay. But you got to understand it. It is our show and we have 4 people here who need to talk. Right. So we all have to say something. If somebody back in the studio hung up on you, I apologize, but that's kind of how call-in shows work, right? Just the nature of it. So anyway, Russ, do you want to do the Chickies and Pete's read, or do you want me to do it?
You go ahead.
Okay. We are live at Chickies and Pete's in Drexel Hill. We're at different Chickies and Pete's every Wednesday night. So be sure to come out and see us every Wednesday night. And when you come out to Chickies and Pete's, you got to try all the great food here. And we have, Bundy has his regular thing. We talk about it every week. We call it the Bundy, where he gets his clam chowder, and then he gets his peel and eat shrimp, cold shrimp, which, Russ, you also participated with tonight, correct?
Yeah, I did.
They were pretty good? Pretty good?
They were tasty. I downed them before Bundy.
Yeah, you did. You ate them so fast. I couldn't believe you ate them that fast.
I won the race that he didn't know he was racing.
Yeah. And then Bundy
They're not calling me Fat V. Mishkov on this side with the shrimp. Let me tell you.
A shrimp would know how to handle a shrimp a lot better.
And then Bundy gets the traditional pizza. That's part of the Bundy meal. Rush usually gets the grilled chicken sandwich, which he hasn't even touched yet, right?
Well, when am I going to do that?
I know.
I should have done that while you were debating.
Well, I was trying to give you time, and you always get the crab fries. That's an automatic. I went something new tonight, guys. And Riles, I see you have it down there.
I followed your lead.
Yeah, I went with the fish tacos tonight. Boy, are they good. Like, that might be the new staple. Like, I went crab cake sandwich for the last few weeks, and it's a really good sandwich. But absolutely, fish tacos, so try them out if you ever come out to Chickies and Pete's. Like I said, more than 17 locations, and you can absolutely check them out at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. They have 2 locations, one in the East Food Hall, and where's the other section? I forget where it's at. I don't have it up. It's in 113, I think it is. I might be lying there. I'll look it up and see if I can say it. But anyway, Chickies and Pete's, thanks for always sponsoring the show and having us out every week. We'll see you next Wednesday next Tuesday, because next week's a holiday week. Next Tuesday in Bordentown, New Jersey. Bordentown, New Jersey is where we're at next week.
What the hell's Bordentown?
That's closer to you. That's closer to you, right, Bundy?
They're Trent. Yeah.
That's closer to you.
Yeah, it's a little closer.
A little bit closer to you.
45 minutes.
Yeah. It won't be that. It'll be much.
Drop the drive.
It's going to take me. I think it's almost 2 hours for me.
It'll be a ride for you.
Yeah.
That'll be a ride for you.
I might take a sick day. I don't
sure.
know. No, I'll be there.
For sure.
I'll be there. I'll do the 2-hour drive to listen to Anthony argue with people.
I got to do radio that night, guys.
Do you?
Yeah, Flyers play.
Yeah, they do.
So
yeah, we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. So anyway, there you go. Is there something else you wanted to get into? Because I always have my Flyers Twitter thing that I want to yell about.
Yeah, you've done a good amount of that tonight.
Yeah, but I got something else because I want to get these guys to comment on it too.
All right, well, go ahead.
Are you going to play the thing?
Oh, you want to go? You want to go to war now?
Oh, we go to war. Absolutely go to war.
Okay.
Here we go. This is.
I don't know if they're going to hear it on the radio, but that's not what Yeah,
it's me versus Flyers Twitter.
This is a Snow the Goalie showdown. Anthony SanFilippo versus Flyers Twitter. Get ready. Fight.
There we go.
The radio people had silence. The people on the stream got to see it.
Yeah.
You versus Flyers Twitter.
So here's the new thing that's out there on Flyers Twitter. The Flyers acquired Trevor Zegras for the sole purpose of replacing Matvei Michkov on the ice. As far as the important minutes, the power play, that it was not to upgrade the team. It was specifically designed to replace Matvei Michkov. What do you guys think of that?
I think it's a terrible take.
It's absurd. Yeah, absurd.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's just like.
I mean, is he playing better right now? Of course. And is he going to get those spots now because that's how he's playing? Yes. But when they made that trade in the offseason, the notion was, hey, we could play these guys together and make that power play really good. Right?
100%.
And then Michkov just hasn't been what they needed him to be. And so they've kind of adjusted. There was never a thought in the offseason of we're going to bring this guy in and take away Mishkov's minutes.
No.
Like that's the new thing that's out there right now.
No, that's crazy talk.
What do you think, Russell?
I think they're probably just leaning into a replacement theory here where you're replacing what Michkov had done a year ago with Zegras because you have confidence that he can execute at a higher level right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
Okay, but the point is that when if
I mean, somebody has to do it. Like last year, this team stunk last year. It was a god awful team.
Yeah,
it was a god awful team.
It was a bad team.
It was a disgrace. It was fine. They weren't a good team. They didn't have a lot of high skilled players. It was a dumpster fire, which is fine because it was year 2 of a rebuild. They brought in a guy who is a skilled player who has the ability to excel at 5-on-5 as long as Christian Dvorak is playing with him, and then he excels on the power play in Zegras. And so, like, I have no problem with Zegras getting some of those Michkov minutes. I think the question comes down to, and this is, I'll derail you, I guess, but like Travis Konechny to me, just there's a whole lot of kind of double talk going on about the flaws in some of the things that Michkov does and some of the flaws that Konechny already does do, which is, turning over the puck.
Yeah.
We have to be fair. They both turn over the puck a lot.
They do. And Konechny
is a better penalty killer.
Konechny drives their coaches crazy too.
Yeah.
He absolutely does. But as Riley said earlier, if the production is there, you can you
can turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
He plays the game with energy and pop. It's like there's a completely different energy to get all together. So you can't even really compare the two right now.
And that's the thing. And I know fans want to hang their hat on that, and they hang their hat on Konechny because he's been here for all the bad. Right.
Sure, yeah.
And that's the thing. It's the same thing that happened with the Phillies when guys like Rhys Hoskins and Aaron Nola were here, and they were here for all the bad. And so when things started to get good, everybody wanted to blame them that they stink. Right.
Nola does stink.
Well,
and Hoskins is like a platoon guy.
Out of your mind. You're stupid.
But Nola stinks. Aaron Nola stinks.
Oh my God, it's so bad.
He stinks. He stinks.
I can't.
He stinks.
He's a nice man.
There was seems like a lovely guy. Seems like a great guy. Hey, Aaron Nola, great guy.
Yeah.
Not a great pitcher.
But it's the same concept that I think fans get tired of the same. It's why they hate Coots. It's why they hate Konechny. All right. It's why guys that have been around for a long time, fans don't like, especially when the team was going bad for so long.
Yeah.
So that's part of it, right? But as Riley said, you're going to get a little bit more rope from coaches if you are productive in other facets of the game, right? I mean, Bundy, you could attest to that too, right?
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I mean,
right?
I
mean, there's no other. I mean, I'm not saying it the right way, right? I'm saying it the right way.
Konechny has more equity built up with this franchise, and so there's always going to be a longer leash for because he's played here longer. He has a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into the organization. Now, if you're viewing it straight up meritocracy wise, like is it Is it totally fair? I don't know. It really depends.
The problem
I
is
think
it's all what you see though. Like
Sure.
Konecny's been here for let's say 10 years. So is Sanheim.
Yeah.
And the only thing you look sometimes at those guys, even when things are turning the corner, is that they were part of that losing trend for all those years, and they were top players.
Yeah.
They were the top players at their position during those times.
I'll tell you what,
So
though.
that's where some frustration
I
kicks
think.
in.
Oh, yeah.
I think
That's
this
the
thing
point.
is actually a testament. If we flip it, it's a testament to Sanheim, because Sanheim's been here just as long as Konechny, not quite as long as Couturier, but he was here through all those bad years too.
Yeah.
He has played his ass off this season to a
Sure.
point where he is a legitimate top pair defenseman, and he's playing like what 20, 25, 26 minute nights
He had won a
like
couple- he had
over
won a
the past
couple-
month. I think
couple
he had
games ago.
28 minutes or
He had a
something.
31 the other
Like
couple
he's been
games ago.
he's been an absolute workhorse, and you see that. And if you're a fan out there and you see him putting in those big minutes and seeing him play in all situations, you go, you know what? I'm going to give that guy another chance. That seems to be like where the fans are at with him. The Couturier thing, I think, is always weird. I think there's always been like a weird disdain, and I don't know if it's tied to the fact that he was the captain named after Giroux, and there was like a very big love affection with a certain part of the fan base. I don't know if it's
I
because
think, you know what I think it-
like
you know what I think it is with
Couturier is
Coots?
never going to return to the physical form that he was before 2 back surgeries. Like,
Right.
hate to break it to everybody, it's not going to change. You also can't like force him to retire. You also can't like try to sucker another team into taking him. He's a good dude in the locker room. He's by all accounts been a good captain. He's just not the same player he was before back surgeries. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and it's not
You know?
it's not just that. I mean,
Live with it.
again, like I think Couturier is a guy who had a couple of really good, not great, but good offensive seasons, right? And a lot of times fans look at just the counting numbers, right? And
Yeah.
they sit there and say, what's he doing? What's his production? And they don't see the value that he can bring. Now, I wrote a story the other day for again, you know, I'm the shill. I wrote a story the other day saying, I think they're playing him too much. I do. I think 22 minutes a night is too much for Sean Couturier these days, guys. I think Sean Couturier would be much better further down the lineup. He still can kill penalties, still take all those big face-offs late in games, in overtime, whatever. If he's playing 14, 15 minutes a night instead of 21, 22, I think you get a better Sean Couturier, and I think it's better for the team. So, like, I'm of the mindset that he needs to play less, but I also am not of the mindset that he's a terrible player and needs to be shipped out. I think that there is a spot for him on this roster and an important spot for him on this roster.
Yeah, what I'll say to that is that you know, I coached in the American League for a bit, and when you have guys that you can absolutely rely on, there's like a trust factor there.
Yeah.
That you know what you're going to get out of them. They might not be like anything sexy, just maybe a little bit of vanilla, but you know they're not going to get, you know, scored on most of the time. You're not going to be doing anything outrageous. It's going to cost the team. Like, you know, the coaches recognize honest players, and you know, and that's probably the thought process. Not like they're expecting him to be this highly offensive guy. Like, I coached him back in the day in the lockout, and I could have told you many years ago, he's not going to be a 100-point guy in this league. Not going to be a high-end offensive guy. He was playing there with Shen at the time, and Shen, you could see the scoring ability.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, clearly. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I think you can be a reliable NHL player and eat up some responsible minutes. And I think that's what's kind of happening. And I know the fans they just want to see a sexiness to, you know, whether it's his game or whoever's game, you know, give whoever minutes. But like, as a coach, like, you go down the line and you're just looking at guys like, who can you rely on, you know, consistently. It's really, at the end of the day, it's about consistency.
Right.
And it's like every time I put them out, I know what I'm going to get from that guy.
Sunday night in Carolina, they go to overtime. I felt like Sean Couturier was on the ice all 5 minutes.
Yeah, felt like that. Yeah.
Right? I mean, I think he took like one shift off because he was taking every draw.
Right.
There were so many stoppages.
Yeah.
They had to kill a penalty, right? He was out there for killing the penalty, and he was taking every draw. And that's an example of what you're talking about, right? The coach is sitting there going, we can't give up a goal here. Who is my most responsible player?
That's it.
And
that's it.
And that's what he's
it's
turning
that simple.
to. He might not be the best guy right now.
Yeah.
But he's the most responsible guy right now. And that's why I'm turning to him every time.
For sure, because I mean, you look at your guys as like percentages, like, you know what I mean? It's like this guy's, you know, he's, you know, puck possession and percentages of making plays is, you know, whatever it is. You go down and you just know what you're going to get from these certain guys, and some guys will be like, hell no, can't put him out there right now because there's just the percentages are too low.
Right.
And that's just the nature of the business. It's just like you just find your horses, meaning like, yeah, the guys at work, but also that you know consistently are going to do the job.
Yeah.
You know, that's it.
Yeah,
I mean,
coaches are looking for that. Right?
100%.
Like they want that. That's what they want.
That's
They
what
want
they
a
want.
dependable guy. You always hear guys saying they have equity in their bank with the coach. That's what that means. They can depend on that guy that they're not going to screw up or cost you a goal.
And
it's always interesting to take a look just year over year of like what his usage has been to start the season. You remember 2 seasons ago, Torts ran him into the ground, like coming off the back surgeries, right?
Yeah.
And we were like, man, he's just like overplaying him, right? So in that season, the first 3 months, he was playing anywhere between 19 and 20 minutes per game over the first 3 months. Last year, under Torts, 16 minutes per game in October, about 20 minutes per game in November, and then down to like 17:40 in December. This season, he's actually played a little bit more, 18 minutes per game in October, down to 17 minutes in November, and then he's kind of gone back up. He's trending back in that 18 minutes per game in December.
And Tocchet has said he needs to pump the brakes a little bit on Couturier.
Yeah.
That he's played him too much. He has said it. Like, so it's not like, we're just throwing this out there. Like, the coach recognizes it. But I think that when you get in those tight games, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
That's 100% it. Yeah.
When you're in the tight game, it's like, that's the guy I need to rely on.
100%. You let's look at them down on the bench, and you'd be like, you got a few guys, you'd be like, absolutely, I could put those guys out there and feel comfortable.
Right.
Versus like the next guy and be like, you're literally like shaking. Worrying about like what's going to happen out there. I think that's it.
That's part of where the lack of center depth on this team really does kind of hurt you.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
That to me is where it kind of bears out. Now I'm told we have a different Tony.
Oh, it's not
We
the
have
same
a
one.
different Tony, a Tony in Tennessee calling.
Oh, I love when we get people calling from out of the area.
Tony in
That's my
Tennessee.
favorite.
Are you there? How are you?
Hey, listen, you guys are my lifeline. I love you guys.
Thank you.
have no idea how much your program means to me. In between periods, Bundy, my wife has a crush on you. It's incredible.
God bless her, man.
A Riley and Bundy, shout out to you guys for the work you've done for people and all the lives you've helped. So
Thank you.
You guys
Thank
are
you.
heroes of mine. Yeah,
Thank you,
you guys
thank
are
you.
real heroes. And to Tony Louie, not all Tonys simp around for Michkov, okay? No simping for Michkov here. The guy comes in overweight, doesn't respect what he's doing, and he's getting – this is a meritocracy, as Russ said. I mean, I don't know where that got lost, but I have a question for you guys, the 2 former players. Who runs the room on the Flyers? Who runs that room behind the scenes with this particular team? Because whoever it is doing a hell of a job, and I say this because they fall behind so much in these games, and they're constantly fighting back. This team has something about it that I don't think our fan base really appreciates. These guys do not quit.
They don't quit.
Right.
They've had a ton of comeback. They've had a year worth of comebacks already, which is crazy. And that's not the formula you want to live by either, because that usually you run out of that equity that we're talking about over time. At some point, you eventually will, where you get behind the 8 ball too many times, it just becomes too hard to come back. But I think there's a lot of people responsible for that. I would say certainly the coach would be the head of the snake to kind of turn that culture into something different than what they've had before. It's a different voice in their ears. But then the leadership group as well, joining forces with the coach to preach that and to continue to put on a good show and to never quit. And they really have done an amazing job of that this year.
And one thing, and maybe Riley, you can address this. We say Bundy says the leadership group, and there's no question. It's obviously it's Couturier, it's Konechny, it's Sanheim, but the leadership group is not just those 3 guys, right? There's other players, and I even say, and I'll throw it to you because this is a guy who kind of played a role that you kind of played. You look at a guy like Nick Delorier, who doesn't play that much, right? But he's out there grinding and putting in the work every game. Maybe doesn't have the ability anymore to really play on a regular basis. But for young players, and they are one of the younger teams in the league, they see a guy doing that who's been around as long as he has, and there's some real respect to
100%,
that, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, you get the leadership group is beyond the season in the A's,
right?
As we know,
and
Nick Delorier is a great example. I would even throw like Trevor Zegras in there, coming into a new environment, and he's taken on a leadership role. He's subscribed. I mean, not quite maybe like Coots, but like he's his own individual. But I think he's subscribed to the philosophy of the Flyers with talk once, and he's a part of it. Dvorak. I mean, I didn't know much about this guy. I really love this guy's game.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I would say he's in that too. and there's probably a couple others, but like to me, it's beyond just a few guys. Everyone subscribed to the energy that's demanded by Talk and his coaching staff, and they're bringing it. Yeah, yes, they work on the starts for sure, but there's no fight. There's a vibe. There's a vibe for sure, and I think the fans are feeling it, seeing it. But everyone's subscribed to it. But it's beyond those three guys, and I think that everyone's just kind of pulling in the same direction. That's what I see.
I actually want to talk about Dvorak a second. By the way, thank you to Tony for calling. Dvorak is interesting because it was another one of those like underrated moves of the offseason. Like, listen, I wasn't hiding out this offseason. Like, I thought it was a largely underwhelming offseason if you were trying to go to the next level. I thought it was more of you're kind of patching things over because it was year 3 of the rebuild.
That's
and
kind of what I was thinking.
And they also weren't setting the expectation. Yeah, we're going to be a playoff team. Like they I think really tried to rein in any expectations. If anybody started getting ahead of themselves, you kind of pulled it back. Dvorak was a guy who, when they brought him in, I was like, all right, well, that maybe is like a 1-year guy. Maybe that's a dude that you try to flip at the deadline. Because of how well he's played with Zegras, and because he's now – listen, I'm not saying that like Trevor Zegras is a crappy player without Christian Dvorak, but when you have those two together and you're now getting this point-per-game guy in Zegras, it almost makes you start to wonder, is this a guy that you really do want to keep around? And I think that pretty clearly it is, unless Tockett's going to really start experimenting, like splitting those two up. And is Zegras still a point-per-game guy without Dvorak? But for right now, like, I don't see why you wouldn't have a conversation about keeping him, especially for a team that has as many holes as they do at center. The fact that Dvorak can take faceoffs, can play center, depending on how things are going. To me, like, he maybe is the one that jumps out the most. Is he's really turned somebody like me around from being like, oh, what the hell is this guy to – you kind of need him.
I feel the same way. I mean, all three of those guys in the offseason, I wouldn't say vanilla moves, but certainly not earth-shattering, but all three of them have done, to me, an incredible job stepping in and going above and beyond. Zegras is probably in Michkov's, some version of Michkov's shoes back in the day when he was in Anaheim there, figuring out what he can and can't do. And, I'm sure they're all over him from some of his mistakes. He comes here and has a new attitude, fresh look, and obviously taking advantage of it. Dvorak, again, he plays the game the right way. Like, I watch this guy and he keeps getting better. I mean, I don't know. He just he's got an energy. He's got a swagger, and then obviously Vladar. But I like Dvorak. I mean, to me, it's like, if you have that type of chemistry, you don't just let them go away, do you? I mean, I don't know.
No, and I think what's going to happen here, guys, with Dvorak is I think that it'll go right up to the trade deadline.
Yeah.
If the Flyers are still in contention, as they expect to be, then I think that there's a chance that they sign him at that point.
Yeah.
You always get those guys like, well, they might be on the trading block, and then all of a sudden they sign a new contract with the team, right? And they're not getting traded. It's happened in the past year, as a matter of fact. But I think that that's the case. But if the Flyers are not in contention at that point, then I think because he's in a UFA, you can then maybe get an asset for him at the deadline. So I think that that's kind of how they're gonna play the Dvorak thing.
He's only on a 1-year deal. That's why it's on.
Yeah.
Bundy, is he the best example of a guy going out and just he's a UFA coming up, and in a contract year, a lot of times guys play better, play harder. Their livelihood really is kind of at stake. Is this an example of a guy who's just kind of playing above his level because it's a contract year? Or do you think he really just fits this team so well?
I don't know if he's playing well because it's another contract year for him, or if he's just playing well because he's got an opportunity maybe he didn't have before. He's playing top line minutes.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that he's been elevated and he's proven, trying to prove some people wrong, prove himself right that he's a capable player. But if you look back at his history in the league, he's probably been mostly on depth lines most of his career. Now he's in an opportunity where he's still a responsible defensive player, but he's also there to provide points as well, and he's done that this year.
In some ways, the case that you're kind of making in about Delorier and the guys get to see him and he's not there, you can make the same case for Dvorak. And he's even playing at a much higher level. So it's very interesting. Real quick, I see Jake is out on the line, so we'll go to Jake. I think Jake will be our last caller because then we got to kind of wrap things. But Jake,
and I have something I want to wrap.
Jake,
with.
You're here on Snow the Goalie. How are you? Jake, are you there?
Hi, is it me?
Yeah. If you are Jake.
Oh, sorry, Keith, not Jake. Sorry, I thought you were talking to somebody else.
Oh,
gentlemen,
okay.
Good evening. Hey, thanks for taking me so late. I appreciate that.
Sure.
I'll try to keep it quick for you. I was really happy with Risto the other night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't even talk about him.
Yeah, right.
If he is going to play like that, I mean, is he a top 4 D-man? And if he is, does that move Tanny over? What the top player is going to look like? Have a good night, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a great question.
Thank
That's
you.
a great question. I think on this team, I think he is a top 4 D-man.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think
But
so,
they had to put him out there to start him off slow,
Right,
On
yeah.
the third pair, but yeah, to me, he's a top 4 D man.
Yeah, it's going to be
On this
interesting.
team,
It's going to be interesting to see what they do because I think that it's ultimately they're going to slide Andre down. Is what I think is going to ultimately happen. And I think you're going to see Risto play with Drysdale on that second unit. Is what I think is ultimately going to happen. So we'll see, but I think that's kind of where it's at. But we should have talked about Risto. He had a really nice. He looked good in his
Yeah,
first
he did.
game back.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, he didn't look
Big
like he
hit.
just missed 9 months.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, he was physical
involved,
in the body. Yeah,
Yeah.
he moved the puck pretty well.
Yeah.
He had a good game.
He
Good
had a
first game
good
back.
first
he
game
did,
back.
yeah.
All right, I know we're wrapping up. We have less than 3 minutes to go in the game in the show, but today is December 17th.
Okay.
Right. There's a couple of birthdays today that are important to bring up on this show.
Okay.
The first one that I got to point out is my dad. It's my
yeah.
dad's birthday
Happy
today.
birthday, yeah.
Right, who's here?
Thomas
Who's absolutely here?
Look at him. There we
Yeah.
go.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Stud.
birthday to my dad, who's here joining us at Chickies and Pete's.
You know who he shares a birthday with?
Well, this is
today?
what I was going to go with. I think it's the same one if we're going with the same person.
Yeah, Craig Berube.
Well, yes, but there's somebody else.
Okay, Craig Berube's birthday.
It's Craig Berube's birthday
Happy
today.
birthday to Craig Berube.
Yeah.
out
And
there.
here's the third one. You know who else's birthday it is today?
Huh.
It's Hitch's birthday today.
Who?
Hitch.
Yes.
Hitch.
Oh,
Oh,
Well,
man.
and it's actually, I don't know if you meant to set this up
haven't
or
heard,
not,
haven't heard his
but,
name for a while.
but there was,
did they get him a cake big enough?
there was well, so Bundy, we actually,
Well, I got the
we had
tummy
somebody sent us this over on Twitter, and I don't know if this is what Ant was trying to queue up or not, but I do think it's worth taking a look at. There you go. That's quite the image there of Hitch Bundy. He's
I'll make it bigger for you.
there you go.
Oh, it's
Oh, back in the day. That's when he was
Yeah,
coaching
Camp
from
with
the
the
bench.
with
I
the
mean,
can-
he wouldn't even go
that
on the
looks
ice
like-
back in the day.
That looks like Captain Kangaroo with a hockey stick in his hand.
There you go. Hey,
Look at
there's
that.
a better one. There you go. Bundy, when you see that, what goes through your head?
Oh, that's so good.
Oh,
it's
my
hard to
God.
even. It's hard to even believe that's him.
I
Like,
know.
way back then, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Imagine if you took a picture and showed it to someone. So this guy was one of the most successful coaches in the NHL. Be like, yeah,
read
right.
a lot of books.
Well,
He read a lot of books.
All right.
So happy birthday to Hitch. Happy birthday to Craig Berube. Happy
Yeah.
birthday to my dad.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff today.
The show has gone so far off the rails.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that, Russ.
Oh, good old Hitch.
Yeah.
What a guy. All right. Well, I guess, is that time to wrap? Are we?
Yeah,
I guess,
yeah. So
big
thank-
thank you to Riley Coates.
Thanks, Ryle.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks
Appreciate
for coming
it.
out, pal.
Yeah.
Job,
Appreciate
Appreciate
you.
you
Thank you
guys.
to Chickies and Pete's for hosting us here in Drexel Hill. Where are we at next week there, Ant?
It's a Tuesday. Don't forget, it's on Tuesday next week
Tuesday.
because of the holiday. And we're at Chickies and Pete's of Bordentown, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Join us there next week.
Russ might have to get a hotel. It's that far from his house.
It's very far. It's incredibly far, but it'll be okay.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
Yes.
All right. A big thank you to everybody who tuned in on YouTube, Facebook, and X. A big thank you to everybody who checked us out on WBCB over on the radio, as well as on YouTube. Don't forget, you can always find this show in their favorite podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts. For Riley, for Bundy, for Ant, I'm Russ. Thank you so much for checking out Snow the Goalie. Have a great night, everybody.